Ah, yes, come here, fishy. Let me show you a world of pottery. Hello guys, it's me, Pottery Demon. I'm coming at you guys with another video today. Throwing my 3 every single day. You gotta do it. And I'm getting to my 1,000 slowly but surely. We just broke 600 pots the other day. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we create. But anyway, I'm going to get right into it, guys. Already got the things pre-wedged. And, hopefully there's not a weird buzzing on this video. So we'll see how that goes. See you guys in a second. Peace. I think I do need to have this kind of close to my mouth, especially when I'm throwing here. So here we go. We got our sponge. Got a little bit of agua on there. Dude, it's such a weird day. People were just talking to me left and right, and I had one conversation that I guess I can talk about that I thought was interesting, right? And all I'm doing when I talk about this stuff, I'm just proposing another way of viewing the world, right? Like, obviously I think it's the best way for me, And so when I was talking to this guy, he was telling me about his mindset and stuff, and he kind of thought that he doesn't have it in him to do certain things, right? Like, he's in that mind where it seems like maybe he's older, so he feels like he's kind of done trying the new stuff out. And even if it's interesting to him, I think he doesn't want to undergo that. I'm not really doing a good job explaining it. It's like he just felt like his time was over, right? Not like he's gonna die, but his time of trying to be something with this is done, And I don't know. I just tried to talk to him about how, I know it seems kind of annoying when I bring this up, but I promise it was in a responsible way. It wasn't in telling him that he's wrong way, because I don't believe that he's wrong. I just think they're point of views. I was saying, as cringe it is, there's a saying by The Rock where he says one day or day one, right? And I think that's really kind of echoes what I was telling him. I asked him if he was a cynical person, because he was trying to throw but doesn't have anybody to help teach him in-depthly, and it seems like he doesn't want to inconvenience others, or maybe the space doesn't allow for him to really learn the thing. And he talks about his family quite a bit, so I think he's a big family guy, so there's a whole nother side of his life. And so, but he did express interest, and I was just saying I think my whole entire life I want to be trying to get after something, and I understand that I don't have a family what he has, so maybe that shifts as family grows, but I really think I want to keep that this mentality, right? I would like to be able to do the thing, right? Instead of just talking about it, right, all the time. And so I think if I want to teach my family one day, right, about this idea, right, this line of thinking, of just kind of just grinding something out for something that's more than just, it's you want to put that investment into yourself, and it helps the people around you by doing so, right? If you really devote your life to self, it benefits the people around your space. You radiate this energy off of you, right? And I want to be I want to teach that, so I gotta be that first, right? And so that's one of my big goals. But it was just fun talking to him. I told him don't take what I say. I told him take what I say with a grain of salt. But he seemed like he actually was trying to value my opinion on the same level of his. So I thought that was really honorable of him. Especially since I'm a young guy. These guys don't need to. They don't need to really treat me with that level of. I know it kind of sounds mean to myself, but I don't expect an older person to bend their ideas to like my way of thinking, right? I know that the time that I was raised in has some effect over like my thoughts on how life should be lived, right? But they don't hold that youth against me when taking or when talking about my ideas. You know, so it's very easy for people to do it, and people do it at other places, and it's totally chill. Like I don't mind. But these people here really do value the things I'm saying in regards to like art and making and stuff. So I actually really appreciate when they do that. You know. All right, this thing was wanting to rip off. Can you guys feel that? It was just wanting to just come right off that wheel head because I'm lifting up with so much tension. So we're going to bring this in ever so slightly. And I'm going to be a little bit more slow, but a little bit more direct. And then make sure my sponge. Oh, I messed it up. You know what? Turn up the music here. I feel like there's an energy right now of quietness. I don't know if you guys feel that. There's a lot of energy when I was talking a second ago, but all of a sudden now I'm starting to feel this energy of just focus. Oh, yes, a little bit. So if I'm putting my hands at the bottom here, I already know I'm a little bit off center here somewhere. So I just want to be a little bit cautious there. Then I want to push some of this clay down. Okay, now here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let those noises be made as you're making here. It doesn't matter. Who cares? People may think you're crazy, but if it's the perfume of the pot, we'll make those sacrifices of looking a little crazy. Look at that twist. That's free. That thing is so tight. Alright, and it's tearing in the middle a little bit. It kind of has this like bulbous tension release. There's something that's kind of nice. But this curve on it doesn't allow that release to fully exit the pot. You know, that rim is sort of facing down a little bit or inward, and so it's bringing that tension back in. It's not letting it escape. Where some of them, they let the pot lets that tension escape. This one holds that tension. Alright, so allow some of that clay to flatten out here. It's not perfectly even, so I already know that's going to be a little bit off. That's okay. Now one knife right underneath. Okay, nice. And then another thing that happened to me today that was pretty cool was I was taught how to make a whistle. Oh my gosh, right? So this guy, he makes these whistles like for like kid classes. I know that wasn't his original interest, but it's going to be relevant for me because I want to teach my kids class tomorrow about these whistles, right? But the whole thing started a while ago. One of my students, they asked me, right, and this is an older student, she was like, hey, do you think you can show us how to make whistles? And I was like, yeah, you know, whistles are probably pretty easy. famous last words, right? And I tried to do it for like that whole class, and I couldn't get it to work, and I was so frustrated. And then I tried again a different occasion, and I still couldn't get it to work. And so, but it just so happens another place that I work, you know, they're doing a lot of musical ceramic instruments. So I was like, well, you know what, I'll just learn from them, and then I can, you know, figure it out. But they didn't. They kind of said that they did it, and then showed me some of the things. But I never caught them at the right moment, so they could show me exactly how to do it, right? Because I'm kind of hands-on like that. I like to like actually do the thing before I can teach it, right? And he showed me, and he gave me the demo that he would give to like almost like little kids, right? And I thought it was really, well, first I thought it was kind of fun to learn like from this guy as if I was like a student in his class. You know, that was kind of silly. And he was like, you gotta make your own tool, and told me to break this popsicle stick in half, and it was actually pretty epic, you know. And but anyway, so he showed me how to do all the whole thing. And the reason why I bring this whole thing up is because I'm gonna teach my kids that whistle the same exact way that he kind of taught me today, you know. So it's kind of cool. Like, he's an older gentleman, and so I think his teaching days are kind of like, you know, just coming to a close here in the next couple years, so he can enjoy his like the end of his life a little bit more, right? Doing some other things. I'm not saying he doesn't enjoy working with the kids, because I still think that's why he still does it even. But yeah, I think he just has maybe other things that he wants to do. Well, I mean, I'll see. I don't know this guy well enough yet, but I think that it's kind of cool that I'm going to keep that same way that he taught kids. You know, I'm going to bring it to a whole, like, I'm going to be doing that for a while, you know, depending if I still teach classes here in a couple years. But I still think I'll want to teach an individual how to make a whistle one day, no matter what. And so, anyway, I just think it's going to be cool that even like when he's way gone now, I'll always remember the whistle and the joy that I had with making that whistle tonight. There's something that he said that I thought was really profound, actually. He said, what was it exactly? He said, there's something about when the song, or when the clay makes sound, you get like this aha, like I did it, right? You completed a task, right? And that he said it seemed like he explained it as a very unique feeling. And I was like, well, you know, I felt like that, like the aha, I did it, I solved the math problem, or but there's something that's very focused about it, just being clay from the ground, and you just pick it up, and then you make sound with just a couple of moves. You know, you've made this instrument in some way that felt very, like, it felt like a human core value that you should try to experience. Not just making an instrument, but just, you know, picking up something and just creating a thing that has like some value to some degree, right? That's not just like monetary. You know, there's some value in making a sound, right? Like, it does something, right? It like holds power. Maybe sounds do have power with their like frequency. I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit too large of a topic that I don't know anything about, but it just is kind of interesting when he was explaining it to me, and now I get to think about that and get to show people that. So I thought that was epic. I even stayed in that like an extra hour and a half after work, and I probably could, like, I don't think anybody would look the other way if I like said that that's part of my, I should be getting paid for those times maybe, but I just couldn't. I can't bring myself to do that. So like, I took off 2 hours of what I would normally write down for hours today, just because of all the talking that I did with people. It was so, like, I couldn't without having a guilty conscience, I would have felt bad about logging some of those hours. I don't know if you guys ever feel like that, but I definitely feel like that. That time there that I could have spent here finishing the videos, I'm going to claim that as just an investment for myself, you know. I don't need to get paid for an investment in myself. Okay, so here, the clay goes down. Alright, fists on top. Really feeling that clay, guys. Bring that fist right to the palm, get it glassy. Look at that. Like a hockey puck. Right down the middle. Okay, take that. This clay's a little bit softer. So it's wanting, this is like perfect softness actually. Some of the other ones the other past couple days are a little bit, just a tad too hard. Like on a hardness scale from like 1 to 5, the ideal is probably like a 4. Or maybe we'll do 1 to 10 because that gives you a more exact number. Like hardness, soft is like peanut butter is 1, okay? Peanut butter soft, that's a 1. And the hardness is like yesterday, the hardest scale would just be like a bone dry object, okay? I think yesterday's pots and the couple days before have been like a hardness scale of like an 8, right? Or like an 8 or a 7. This feels like a 6 to a 5 area. This is like perfect, right? The stuff that I got in the bag was like freaking like a 2. Like a 2. Oh my gosh. So irritating. But anyway. Here we go. Right to the bottom. Okay. So we can do one nice pull here at the end. We're doing some nice calm pulls here. Look at this one at the end now, guys. Well, we could probably got 2 more pulls, but one's going to be a lot of the height, and this is the next one. So here, a little bit of water right on the inside. Right down at the bottom, I'm saying, hello, where's my friend at? Little ring. Pull up ever so slightly. Allow that interior to get that bump defined. And just slowly take this bump all the way up the clay. If you start noticing some tension on the outside, squeeze your sponge a little bit and keep on pulling. To get to the very top, compress that edge maybe just a little bit. I mean, just look at this, guys. I mean, once you really start to like feel that clay, once you start to feel it moving, right? It helps out so much. Okay, right again at the bottom. Let's see what we got going on here. We're at the bottom of the pot here. I'm feeling the clay. Ready, set, go. Is that meditative, guys? I don't even know. For me it is. I'm starting to get in the zone with the music, like linking up with my movements. And like I'm getting in that headspace. Kind of took myself out of it by talking to you guys right now. But I hope you guys felt that energy that I was emitting there. Like there's some real energy that happens when you get in these moments with making. And I hope that, if you can't see them yet, I hope that you can feel them in the future, right? Maybe it doesn't happen through the digital way, right? Just in this format. And I hope one day I can really show you guys that format, explaining that exact feeling you have when you really like lock in like that. Maybe it only happens, the only way you can show that is through many, 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 many repetitions, right? Till somebody watches me make as much as I have made, right? Maybe when you start to see the things I'm doing, that's when you start to, see these moments. Okay, there we go. Twist these up the side of the pot. And have this, we're gonna have these curl around. And then we're gonna curl this one the other way. We're gonna have them touch on these two sides. We're gonna have them play. Hanging out with each other. And this one curl over. Bring that clay over. Have this sit right up on the top. And that curl. Just waiting for this other curl to happen so it can complete the form. There we go, guys. Right through. It's like holding hands. Look at that, guys. They're like literally holding hands, the two tendrils. It's very animated. It has a whole new life to it. Just by kind of focusing how a form interacts. There's a lot of human looking parts, right? On ceramics, right? It's very, like, if you've ever made pottery, it's like undoubtable that you felt that feeling that somehow clay is become some sort of representation of a human form at least once, even in a vessel form, right? A lot of vessel forms are that way. And so once you see these moments that realistically it's just two ribbons touching, right? But it almost looks like somebody's holding their hands or like plotting something, or there's something really interesting about the form and what it says on a pot. So every single one is different. Alright, the music's kind of getting dungeony here, so I think I need to finish this last pot before it gets too spooky. Here we go. Okay, taking this down. Taking this. Going ahead. Alright, there we go. Push down. Preferably, you have dry hands during this process. Get it down enough. Trying to get that as centered as possible before you even start throwing is ideal. My hands are on a downward 45, and so the clay I'm pushing in. Something sounded like weird. I hope I didn't get clay on something that I wasn't supposed to. Anyway. Keeping my hands down at a 45, they're coming down. They're not up. Up, and you'll cut it off. Down, and you'll always keep that clay, back closer to center. Then you can go up underneath, take that little bump, right? You see this bump? And then you go back to the 45 after you've got the bump established, right? And so it's kind of this interplay when you're throwing or coning your clay up is, okay, when do I lift up some of that clay? Where's that floating magical ping pong ball in the clay, and then how do I catch that? But I don't want to rip that clay underneath, so then I got to switch back to this downward 45 as I get upward, and then it allows it to stay pretty much on center, right? You can tilt forward depending on the clay. You start to feel the clay's ripping. I can feel it ripping right in this section, and so let's see if I can keep that from totally ripping. Yep, we're okay. And I'm taking this angle, I'm not taking this whole chunk here, right? I'm taking this angle, right? And I'm pushing this down. And look, you got like a UFO on the top here, right? It's taking that edge, not the whole thing, the edge, I'm pushing that down, and then keeping my finger underneath of it here, right? Right underneath, so it doesn't rip that clay. And it's slowly, I'm pushing that clay back into a homogeneous form, right? By not allowing it to be under, like a huge undercut like a mushroom would. And I'm slowly allowing that clay to drip back in to like that, almost that candy dot shape, you know? You ever have the candy dots? Kind of has that dot shape. I'm coming back over the top of my hand. Okay. Really laying my shoulder into there. There's a slight undulation on the bottom, so now I'm going to start having to really push my hip into it as I'm going down. And I'm slowly bringing that top hand outward towards my palm of this hand. And so I got some leftover clay, but right away, it's almost perfectly on center. So here I am, pulling this doubt out, back towards my palm again, trying to keep that almost like glass. I have a slight undulation. I'm just going to fuss over it because I can. You don't have to. Okay, there's enough. Definitely within tolerance. Going down, you know, make a little pond, get some water in there. Captain Hook, this is layers of a cake. 3 layers of a cake are right here. Boom, boom, and then boom, right? And so we really just want to move one of those layers. So we're not going to keep our hands flat. We're hooking them, and we want all the tension right on the tips of our fingers. And we're literally carving out a layer. And all the layers above that one layer that we're carving out are just going to follow the layer underneath. So you're really only pushing that one layer around, and it's a lot easier to cut through one layer with direct pressure than it is to move a whole chunk with a lot of surface area, right? Because then you're trying to manipulate more clay at once. Where it's a lot easier to manipulate a less amount of clay, right? By using like tension and like being like really precise, or a lot of, I don't even know what that word is. A lot of pressure, like think water jet cutter, right? Water through a really, really fine thing with a lot of pressure cuts straight through steel, you know? And so that same kind of mentality as our finger, this water jet cutter, cutting that surface of clay off. A lot of, I think, what my ceramics is, when I use tools, is cutting clay. Right? Like when you use a wooden rib, this whole layer just kind of gets cut off. Right, look at that. We're bringing that in so it's a volcano, right? Because we have some inconsistencies at the bottom, and so we're kind of really trying to carve that back on center. So it's wanting to jump up, so I'm not going to do that much more pressure. Okay. Make sure I push that down. A little bit nervous here. Carve this in, collaring in a weird way. But just trying to get that edge in. As soon as you lose that top edge, it's a pain to get it back. Here we are. It's the bottom. Do you guys feel that tension? Oh my gosh. It's infectious, right? That's what I like about clay. Like if I like anything about clay, it's I like that when I'm throwing, I feel that heart is gonna miss a beat tension, you know? Okay. Keep on breathing, guys. Here we are. Take some of this clay down, guys. Allow it to twist. Say hello. The form is here. We're trying to take this edge out. Hooking our fingers right up underneath. Tension right on it. And we'll just to carve inward. Say hello. We want that to look like it's an inflated rim there. Right now what we're doing, there's a spiral on the inside from this twist that we're framing with the rim, right? We're trying to wrap that rim back into the pot so the viewer looks more internally here, right? Sometimes that lump in and that really thick edge frame things really nicely on a pot. So here we go on the bottom. We're taking this edge out. We're saying, hey, we don't have a lot for like a cut skirt here. So instead we're going to do a nice kind of little flange here. And I think since this clay is pretty like these, I did a lot of little tendrils here. They're really thin. I can get away with being a little bit more sporadic and give some more busyness on the bottom here, right? But let's see. We might change our mind once we open this up. Right underneath that bottom. Nice. Okay. So we're trying to get up underneath here with our pinky, and sometimes we'll set a sponge right underneath there so we can get enough moisture so we can do a nice small hole right on this rim. Looks good. And one more little. Okay, now if I'm looking at this, we definitely have enough to go. Wide, 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 wide. Flip, 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 flip. Look at the drama that we added with that. From flapping back over into the pot, directing that viewer visually back into the pot, right? Okay, down there with the sponge. Take these off. Look at this pot, guys. This one's freaking crazy. I wish I could show you the interiors. Is this, how stiff is that? Oh yeah, we can show you the interiors here. Oh, here, let me just get my hand underneath and I can literally just hold it sideways. I'll put a mark on there, but it's worth it to show you guys this interior. Look at that. You guys see that? Look at that freaking spiral. Do you see what I mean by framing, by it causing it to leach back in, right? It's like I'm controlling the viewer's gaze, right? And I'm telling them where to look with the form, right? I get really excited about making things that aren't traditional because you can start looking at them in a totally different way, right? And your work starts having a conversation with itself. You know, my professor taught me that once, and I think that was like really good advice. Alright guys, we can get our camera back on over here. Oh. Camera back on. And we gotta get all the pots over here now. We might kind of be a little bit more heavy-handed here. So, we're gonna get our 3. We got Skyrim music playing right now. This is kind of lit. Take this one. We're gonna bring this one right to the front. Hello. It's me again, guys. Next, you know, we're gonna do the ones that are shaking hands. I think this one's a really interesting. It has a good voice. It brings something. It's talking in a way from that angle, right? Look at that. Sweet. Okay. We're back. We got this. Just got a little cut down. Lift this up. Hopefully we get it up tall enough. So this pot isn't too far off the thumb pointer. That's pretty good. We do need to zoom out just a little bit. Oh, I just kicked it. Such a shame. Alright, this looks pretty good. Wow. Look at that, guys. Wow. I think it'd be up there then. What? Oh, I can hear my eye. Alright, I can't see. Alright, anyway guys. Thanks for watching. All the best. Strong mentality. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This one's a little bit wacky. Here, let me stand here on this thing. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Like I said, all the best. Strong mentality. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Shit, I almost just kicked it over. Alright, peace.